Good afternoon to everybody, and thank you for taking the time to join us here on Zoom. We're sorry we can't be doing this face to face, but Jackie is in Victoria in a lockdown, but we're very happy and comfortable to be doing this via a Zoom. So Jackie Parsons is, she and her husband are the owners of this wonderful company that Mary Rossi Travel has been associated with for, gosh, well over 10 years, Jackie, now, isn't it? Jackie and her husband Mick do walking tours in Europe, mostly in Italy, but they also run tours in Victoria and some in South Australia, in Australia during our summer months as well. I think it's a great opportunity now for us to think about a walking holiday as part of the mix of all the wonderful things that we can do as part of our holiday planning, particularly now after I know so many of you have probably been walking regularly as a part of your excuses to get out of the house. And you might have learned actually how pleasant it is and how much more you see of the world when you slow down to walking pace. Before I hand over to Jackie, though, I'd like to take the opportunity to welcome not only Mary Rossi Travel clients, but also the clients of Mossman Travel. And I wanted to take the opportunity to introduce you to the new owners of Mary Rossi Travel, and that is Penny Spencer and have we got Sharon Kitchener, who are here on board. Everybody. So Penny, would you like to say a couple of things, and then you too, Sharon?
I think Sharon's handed over to me.
Okay. Thanks, Penny.
Thanks, Claudia. So yes, on behalf of Sharon and myself, I'd like to welcome you obviously to our first get together with Mary Rossi Travel clients. It's very exciting. We're thrilled to obviously have taken over on the 1st of July from Claudia, and it was probably not the best date to actually start buy a business, but you know, we're looking to the future and we're very excited about the future and all the travel that's going to happen, because I know everyone's pent up. So thank you again for joining us, and we really do, both Sharon and I, look forward to seeing you in person. And of course, Claudia is still around. She is going to be an ambassador to us and help us through the transition of the business. So you will still see Claudia's face, so don't worry about that. But thank you again for joining, and we look forward to seeing you in person soon. So I'll hand over to you, Jackie.
Okay, I'll just share my screen. Bear with me. Okay, I believe that you can all now see my screen. Please shout out if not. Okay, so welcome to you all, and thank you very much to Penny and to Sharon and also to Claudia, and thank you to all of you for joining us this afternoon. It's great to have the opportunity to tell you a little bit about our company, Hedonistic Hiking. So the company is run by myself and my husband Mick. We started it in 2007, and he is the Australian. I think the hat says it all, and hopefully you can still detect a little touch of an English accent with me, even though I haven't been there for a year or so. That's where I hail from. We met working over in Europe and decided that travel was our passion and we wanted to create our own business. So we've had lots of experience in all areas of the travel business, but what we do love to do is to walk and to be in the open air. In a normal year, and I'm not sure if such a thing still exists, but in a normal year, we would spend half of our time over in Italy, where we have a little base in Tuscany, and then the other half here. We're currently in northeast Victoria, near the beautiful little town of Bright, surrounded by the Italian Alps. So hedonistic hiking was created to really combine our three passions, which are food, wine, and walking. So whichever tour of ours you would choose to do, you will find that we put equal importance on all of those three things, because that is what we think will create a perfect holiday for you. Mick, in fact, before he headed off overseas, he trained as a chef in Canberra and then travelled around Australia before taking his skills over to the other side of the world. And we both speak fluent Italian. We've had a little home there for 20 years now. And I, in fact, did study modern languages and also a bit of art history too. And over the years, we've had a lot of experience hiking with people, both here and overseas. So we've done various types of training to make sure that we can really look after you. I think that one of the points of difference of hedonistic hiking is that either Mick or I will always be your tour leader on the tours. The reason for that is that we can ensure that we have the same level of quality on all the tours that we do, but also it is because hedonistic hiking is our passion. We created it, as I said, combining what we love, and we don't want to be sitting behind a desk and sending other people out to do the tours that we have designed. So you'll always find one of us at the helm on the tours, but we're not always working together. We have an amazing team of gorgeous girls over in Europe who will help us. They're whom we call our tour managers. They will be driving the support vehicle to look after you. And most importantly, they will be there with a smile and a beautiful spread to meet you at lunchtime. So you'll come over that mountaintop, you'll come through the olive grove, and you'll be presented with a beautiful spread of wonderful fresh salads, a hot soup if it's cold, lovely fruit, local cheeses, glass of wine, and you really get to just sit back and relax before you continue the hike in the afternoon. When we're designing our hikes, we try to take you on trails where you're not going to meet other tourists, but you will meet the locals. Away from the mountains, you won't find that many Italians hike. They don't hike for pleasure, but they do hike to forage. So it tends to be that people that we meet when we're out and about, they'll often be proud to show us what they found. Here, some wonderful porcini mushrooms, or they might be foraging for wild herbs, or they might be tending our vines. And because we speak Italian fluently, we can always communicate them. And as you can see, they love to meet us. The maximum number of people in a tour group would be 16. Not everyone comes from Australia, and we also think that's lovely. So you head overseas, you'll meet many other Australians on hedonistic hiking holidays, but you'll also meet guests from North America, Canada, the UK, New Zealand, South Africa, any other English-speaking country. I'd say that our average age is about 60, but we have people who are younger, and we also have people who are a lot older as well. What joins them together is this wonderful love for food, wine, and walking. So we have couples who join us, but we have plenty of solo travelers who join us as well. And for those of you who are there, who signed up or logged in early for the chat, you would have heard from one or two people who've done a few hedonistic hikes before. We do have about 55% of people who are repeat travelers, and we do feel that is sort of guarantee that we think we're doing the right thing most of the time. And it's lovely to welcome old friends back to hedonistic hiking, but also to greet new travelers when they come to join us for the first time. But great fun people, you'll meet some wonderful friends. When we're choosing the hotels, we choose at the best hotel that each region or village has to offer. So it may be between 3 and 5 star, but what we like to do is to support the local businesses. So you tend to find that your hoteliers or your hotel is owned by locals or by a family. And one thing that you'll be sure of is the fact that they love to welcome hedonistic hiking. Over this 2-year hiatus, we have kept in close contact with the hoteliers and with the restaurateurs, and we know that they're really looking forward to welcoming us back next year, and we certainly can't wait to be there. Single travelers, we do have a single supplement, but that will make sure that you have a lovely room similar to the rooms that the couples enjoy as well. So we do the room allocations with the hotels, and we make sure that we don't have any of those horrible little rooms overlooking a lift shaft that are given to single guests. As a single traveler, you will have a double bed, your own ensuite, and a beautiful room to enjoy as well. When we're in Italy or in Europe, we lease these 2 vans, and we will be driving you around in these. The daily hikes, we will not necessarily hike, we won't be hiking from one hotel to the next. So there's usually between 15 minutes to half an hour or so at the beginning and end of every day. The vehicle will also be there at lunchtime. So if you decide that you don't want to walk the entire day, there is always the option. So there's lots of flexibility in our tours. And importantly, the tours are all inclusive. So once we meet you, and we tend to meet you either at an airport or at a centrally located hotel, and then we'll drop you off in a similar place at the end of the hike, at the end of the tour. And during that time, our tours are all inclusive. So that means that all the meals, of course, and wonderful wines with your evening meal, that's all part of your tour payment. But also when we're hiking along, if we pass by a little village and we stop for a cappuccino, if we have a nice cold drink at the end of the day, visit a museum, go wine tasting, or if it pours with rain and we need to change the itinerary, you don't need to wonder where you've put your wallet because it's all part of the tour. It's all inclusive. I'm sure as I go through this presentation, for those of you that haven't traveled with us before, you're probably looking at the photos, seeing what people are wearing, seeing how old they look, seeing how fit they look. We do give you lots of advice on our website, and we send out this information to you prior to you joining us on what we think you'll need to bring when you're hiking, like the size of the rucksack, hiking poles, etc. Lots of information and the type of things, type of restaurants that we're going to. So you're well prepared before you join us. On our website, you can see the itineraries for all of the tours, and the itineraries will give you a day-by-day account of what we're doing and also describe the walk, the distance, the ups and downs, etc. We always try and start off with a not too challenging walk at the beginning of the week, so you can get used to your hiking boots, get a feel for your hiking legs, and we build up to the more challenging days. If there is a challenging day, we try to follow it with a less challenging day, but also there is no prize for doing every kilometre, every step of the way. There's lots of flexibility, and some people are faster than others, but the idea is that you're having a great hike, you're having great exercise, there will be challenge, but you're having fun and you're rewarded with wonderful food and wine along the way. As I think it was Claudia was saying, everyone's been probably doing more walking, you've had more time during lockdown. And this is a great preparation for your hedonistic hike, and you'll have realized how beautiful it is and how relaxing it is to just be out hiking. We encourage people to get out and wear their hiking boots in, to try get a little bit further into the bush, to practice on different trails before they join us, and we give a lot of tips on our website as well. But if you're active, if you play golf, if you play tennis, Pilates, yoga, and like a bit of walking, you'll find that there will be a tour to suit you. And because Mick and I will always be the leaders, and because we've designed the tours ourselves, we can also advise you as to which tour might be best. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go pick a few of the tours that we do, and I'm going to go through the levels so that you can have an idea about the difference between the levels. And there'll be on the screen the amount of places that are available. And this is talking of 2022. 2023 isn't booked up yet, but a lot of 2022 tours are. However, it is a changing world. So even if a tour does seem fully booked, it is worth maybe joining a wait list if it's one that you're particularly interested in, because I think towards the end of the year we'll have more of an idea of numbers. So level 5, the most challenging. These tours were up in the Alps, and the big difference between these and the lower level of hikes is the fact that at lunchtime we're often in beautiful alpine scenery surrounded by wildflowers, but there is no road to get there, which means that the van isn't there. You will have both your leader and your manager with you carrying your lunch, so you don't need to have a massive rucksack to take extra kit. You just carry your normal things for a day hike, but there isn't the option to walk a half day because you're up a mountain. So we could call a helicopter, but we prefer not to do that. We're often quite high up, not high enough to have altitude sickness, but there's a little bit less oxygen at 1,500 meters than there is around Sydney, for instance. And we're doing quite a bit of up and down as well. But the reward is these spectacular views. So Austria in the Dolomites is one of our level 5 hikes. I know that a few people who've joined us this afternoon have actually done this one. Beautiful hiking. We start in Innsbruck, that's where we meet you, and head into beautiful rural Austria, those wonderful flower-filled meadows, lovely villages, lovely hotels with balconies with all the geraniums on, and some beautiful food to enjoy as well. We always select the menus to give you the best of the local area. Sometimes it's hearty mountain fare, as you can see here, and you definitely will have earned it. And then other times there's a little bit more refined, more innovative cuisine and matched to the best of the local wines of the region. We cross over the border between Austria and Italy on foot, and then we head into the area of the Dolomites, these wonderful craggy peaks. We stay in a magnificent hotel with wonderful spa facilities, which are really welcome at the end of some of the longer days. And we explore the area of the Dolomites, not quite such a busy area, some of the more populated area of the Dolomites. So you get to really enjoy the serenity of the mountains. And then at the end of the week, where the tour ends, is in Verona. We just drop you off there, and it's a perfect place to spend a couple of extra days because you may be able to go to an opera at the wonderful Roman arena there. At the moment, we have one other level 5 hike, and this is the best of the Italian Alps. The Italian Alps in this particular section is in northwest Italy, starting and finishing in Turin. 3 lovely hotels, once again great spa facilities, and we're walking a couple of days on the Tour Mont Blanc, but also other wonderful walks as well. And we do get up to 3,500 meters on one day by cable car, and we can play around in the snow and take a fabulous photo with Mont Blanc behind us. So level 4 hikes, we're still in the mountains on some days, but not as challenging as a level 5. And pretty much on every day, you'll have the van there. So there's a little bit more flexibility in it. So one of the tours that we do that's a level 4 is the wilds of Abruzzo. Abruzzo is this beautiful, rugged and remote area in central Italy, really untouched by time, not far from Rome, which is where the tour starts and ends, but you're in another world. Really spectacular. For the next couple of years, we'll be there in spring. So the mountains that you see will be just covered in beautiful flowers. We stay in 3 different hotels. One is what we call an albergo diffuso, which translated doesn't sound quite so romantic. It's a scattered hotel. What it means is that each bedroom was actually a dwelling in this lovely village, which is surrounded by mountains in this area of Abruzzo. But you feel like you're stepping back in time. All the furniture has been reused from the former homes. There's candles, there's also electricity, there's lovely bedspreads which are woven in the village, and there's that touch of luxury. So there is central heating. It's all been beautifully restored, but it is a magical experience, just the hotel itself, and that's before we talk about the wonderful walking. Spectacular views, lovely sunny day. It's not always sunny there, but it's a really magnificent place to walk. And because not many tourists go to this area, certainly not foreign tourists, we get such a wonderful welcome from the people. Initially, in the first few years that we went there, we were the tour attraction when we arrived. It was always gli Australiani, they're coming, you know, the Australians are coming to the village, and it was just magnificent to be there. It's a lovely area for hiking, great food too. And as on a few of our tours, we actually have a half-day cooking class to learn to make the local pasta, which is great fun, and we get to eat it as well, and it's delicious. On this particular walk, the most challenging walk, as we try to make it, is towards the end of the week, and it's a wonderful ridge walk. It's challenging, but you're ready for it by the end with just magnificent views. And we also take a local guide with us who can tell us a little bit more about the flora and the fauna. So a few of the other level 4 tours that we have on offer. Southern Italy, just further down the Apennine Ridge, starting and finishing in Naples, walking in once again a very untouched remote area. Sometimes we have sea views. Another albergo diffuso. This one is each bedroom was formerly a cave in the town of Matera. Matera, if you haven't visited it or don't know much about it, you just need to go and see James Bond film when it comes out here next month, and you can see Matera looking a little bit more wild and scary than when we'll go there. The next of the level 4 tours I'll just chat about is our Slovenia and Friuli. Slovenia is the tiny little country, was once part of Yugoslavia, just to the northeast of Italy. So we start in the capital Ljubljana, and then the tour finishes in Venice, and we hike between the 2 countries on foot. Slovenia is often referred to as a little Switzerland, the sunny side of the Alps, beautiful mountains, pristine azure rivers as well, but then finishing amongst the vineyards too. Slovenia and northeast Italy have amazing innovative cuisine, which is an extra bonus for this particular tour. And then the Italian lakes. The lakes region of Italy is based around Milan, and we start and finish there. And we stay by 3 lakes. We stay by Lake Como, Lake Maggiore, and a little Lake Orta at the end. 3 different hotels, all with lakeside views and some beautiful gardens as well. We have a few new tours. The new tours were set for 2020, and we're looking forward to actually doing them finally in 2022. First is the island of Corsica, so that rugged mountainous island just to the north of Sardinia, really quite remote. When you're out driving on the roads, you seem to see more pigs and goats and cars. We start in the south of the island in the little town of Bonifacio and then finish right up in the centre as well. So really spectacular hiking and lovely, simple but tasty cuisine. Level 3 hikes, if you're keen on hedonistic hiking, haven't done a tour yet and wondering which to choose, the level 3 hikes is a really good entry level because you have those challenging days, but often on the longer days we'll chop the day up into bite-sized pieces, so the van will meet mid-morning and lunchtime and possibly in the afternoon as well, so it all becomes very achievable. Always rolling hills, lots of ups and downs because you need to build up an appetite to enjoy that wonderful meal in the evening. So another new one here, this starts and finishes in Rome. On day one of our tours is always a part of the tour. So we never just arrive, get to the hotel, have dinner, go to bed. We'll always make sure that there's something interesting on the first day. So right when you meet us, the holiday starts. On this particular day, we go to Cerveteri, wonderful Etruscan ruins, and we have a beautiful guided tour with a fabulous local guide before heading to our first hotel, which is by a lake, Lake Vico, which was an extinct volcano. So lovely walking around the lake. And then the second hotel is in the lovely town of Orvieto, which is in Umbria. And the non-hiking day, all of our tours have a non-hiking day. And on this day, we join a local guide and we see some of the wonderful art and architecture of the city. And then we head, there's a bit of time to just ease your muscles in the thermal waters, which that area of Tuscany is known for, but we head through some lovely gardens called La Foce, overlooking those rolling hills of southeast Tuscany to end up in a lovely hotel just near Montepulciano. Montepulciano is known for its wines, especially its red wines. We take you to a wine tasting, and what we have created with a local winemaker is this idea when we're going to go for a wine tasting with a little bit of a difference, because you actually will have a chance to blend some of the red wines to make your own Super Tuscan. Another of the new tours yet to happen is the Heart of Sardinia. This connects beautifully with the Corsica tour. So if you're planning for 2023, this could be a good option. 2 hotels in Sardinia. The first hotel is in the centre of the island, which is really quite remote, rolling hills, some mountains too, but we're quite high up, so the walking is really achievable. And then the second half of the week, we're down on the coast with the beautiful azure waters where most of the Italian tourists head for. Another of the level 3s, this one here, what's special about it, we've been doing it for years, right since hedonistic hiking started. We do walk a lovely part of a pilgrim trail that goes all the way from southern England down to Rome, the Via Francigena, and we hike on this trail where you're walking over 12th century bridges and really feel like you are a pilgrim when you get to the end of the day. 3 different hotels. We're in the area where Parmigiano Reggiano is made, the wonderful cheese, and we go and see the cheese making. In the autumn departure of this tour, we also link in with a porcini mushroom fair too. More rolling hills of Tuscany. This one, Pisa, starts and finishes, and then we visit Lucca, Volterra, 2 beautiful towns, each with their own unique history, and then we head over on a ferry to end up on the island of Elba, where Napoleon spent a year of his life. We stay in a wonderful, spectacular 5-star hotel overlooking the coast, and we do some walking up through the wild lavender, the wild herbs on the highest point of the island, and then have a nice relaxing day at the end of the week. And then the last of our level 3 tours is this one, which starts and finishes in Bologna. 3 hotels, one's an olive oil farm, another albergo diffuso when we're staying in this wonderful village and enjoying their chestnut fair in October. And then we go to Ravenna. And in the Ravenna, we join a local guide and see all the spectacular mosaics that has made this city on the east coast of Italy have its UNESCO World Heritage status. And then to level 2. So the mountains are lower, but the days can be challenging at times, but still really beautiful. A couple of level 2 hikes. The first one, a Tuscan harvest, is really around the area where Mick and I live. So it almost feels to us that we're taking you to our favorite restaurant, introducing you to our friends, and getting you to taste our favorite wines as well. So it's great fun to take you there, and just beautiful quintessential Tuscan scenery, as you can see. Walking through the woods, you come across these little gems. This is just up the road from our little place in Tuscany, this wonderful castle. And this is actually on the farm where we live. We have a cooking class in the basement in the old villa kitchen in this 15th century villa, which is quite fun. And yet another hedonistic hiking picnic and some wine tasting. The non-hiking day on this is when we go to Siena. I love Siena, and I think with my study of art history, I've really got a passion for the medieval art and history of the city. And so I enjoy taking people around, taking you to some of my favorite hidden gems, and also to my favorite bar to have a nice aperitif, sit in the piazza, watch the world go by, and point you in the direction of my favorite shops as well. So it's a great place to spend a day. And the other level 2 tour that we do is our Jewels of Piedmont. So Jewels of Piedmont is in northwest Italy, starting and finishing in Turin. And the Piemontese would probably look down their noses a little bit at the Tuscans. They think they're very rustic, but even though they think it's a beautiful region, because the people of Piemonte really do think that they have the best food and wine in Italy. Now, we have to leave it to you to decide, but I have to say that for both Mick and I, we do love this region. We stay in 2 gorgeous hotels, and the hiking is a wonderful combination, mostly vineyard hiking, but we do also go up into the mountains and have a short but challenging hike up in the mountains, as you can see in that little picture there. So it's a fabulous area to visit. Wonderful food and wine. For those of you who really enjoy your wines and you know a little bit about Italian wines, the Barolo and Barbaresco both come from this region, but there's other wines too, so there's plenty to enjoy. And food wise, there's lots. I won't run you through all the menus, but we do go truffle hunting with Marco and his dog, and we're out there hunting for the white truffle of Alba. Now, I know nowadays in Australia, even here up in Bright, we have people that grow truffles, but the white truffle of Alba, for whatever reason, they cannot get it to grow anywhere else but Alba, or in the area around Alba. So therefore, in order to taste this amazing truffle, you need to come and join the Jewels of Piemonte with us. And finally, so level 1. Level 1's not really hiking at all, but it is great fun. And we just have 1 tour of this level, and it's the Palio of Siena. So that's the horse race. The horse race lasts for 1 minute, 15 seconds, but our tour lasts a week because we need to give you the whole build up. So we follow the horse race, the history, what it's all about, from the selection of the horse for the race, right up to the pre-race dinner, where we're outside with maybe 1,500 people enjoying a 5-course alfresco meal and doing lots of toasts for the horse, hoping it's going to win in the morning. It is a magnificent occasion. We have grandstand seats overlooking the square for the medieval parade and then the race itself. It is one of those experiences, I think, that everyone has to do once in their life. It's so exciting. So that's the tours that we do overseas, and that's really a quick little explanation of all of them. And people often ask Mick or I which is our favorite tour, and quite honestly, we don't have a favorite. And I think for both of us, our favorite is always the one that we're doing, because there's always something wonderful about the tour, whether it's the hiking, whether it's a particular meal. We design them all ourselves, so we're never going to be doing a tour that we don't like, and we're continually tweaking them and fine-tuning them. So we're very excited about the prospect of getting on an aeroplane and getting over there to be running these tours next year. The last couple of years, as we've been here in northeast Victoria and haven't gone too far afield, we have actually brought in some new tours, which has been a real bonus of the lockdowns and of being here in Australia. So we've got some new itineraries, which we've been running over the last year or so when we've been able to leave our homes. And they have exactly the same format. So we have a few of them, goldfields tracks in central Victoria. So it's following the history of the Great Gold Rush, and the food highlight of that would be the final dinner at the Lake House, which is in Daylesford. Then we have the southwest coast on the Grampians, which is beautiful coastal walking, and then up to the mountains in the Grampians, where we stay on the Royal Mail Estate in a wonderful homestead and have a wonderful meal at Wickens, which is another very famous Victorian restaurant. Beautiful walking too, of course. And then we have the Great Ocean Walk, which is one we've been doing for many years. And this is the only sort of continuous walk that we're doing. We're following the entire trail from Apollo Bay to the 12 Apostles, 3 different accommodations. And on all of our tours in Australia, because we're not always close to an amazing restaurant, I make Mick work even harder. So he will actually be hiking with you during the day, telling you the history, the culture, come back, have a shower, put on his chef's gear, and then create an amazing meal for the evening, which is something great fun. And of course, we match it to some wonderful wines as well. The hiking the Victorian Alps is the most challenging of the hikes that we do here in Australia, and it is in the mountains around me as I'm standing here chatting to you today. So wonderful hiking, some of the iconic trails of the high country. And then finally, we have a couple of hiking weekends. So these are just mini little hedonistic hiking experiences with usually 2, maybe 3 nights where we have wonderful meals and then wonderful hiking during the day. And it's a great little way to be introduced to hedonistic hiking. So that is all of our tours that I have whizzed through. It's very hard to keep it succinct, but I hope that I have enthused you with what we do, because as I think I said, I know I speak for myself and for Mick that we really cannot wait to be getting back to Europe and to be running our tours over there, but we have also really enjoyed having some tours here. So that has been a wonderful experience, and we would really hope to welcome you on one of them soon.